Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today, I have a new review and demo video for you, and this is for the DeepMind 12D. It's an analog 12 voice polyphonic synthesizer from Behringer. Notable features for the synth include four dedicated effects engines from TC Electronic as well as Clark Technic, two oscillators and LFOs per voice, an 8-channel modulation matrix, dedicated arpeggiator, 32-step control sequencer, as well as a remote control software for PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices. Finally, it has built-in Wi-Fi. So now let's take a closer look and listen to the DeepMind 12D in action. So as you can hear, the DeepMind 12 is capable of some very lush, fat tones thanks to the built-in reverbs from TC Electronics. Especially, there is a specific one called the Deep Verb that gives the DeepMind 12 a signature sort of sound on a lot of the presets, and that is just touching the iceberg. This thing has 1,024 presets. However, they are more focused towards pads and dreamy arpeggiated sounds, as I do feel like this is a strength for the DeepMind 12 given the effects that are included. All right, so real quickly, let's create a sound from scratch. I want to show you just kind of the general layout of things here and the overall workflow. There were some comments I've seen where people were concerned about menu diving. I can tell you that there is much less of that on this synth than many of the others I've used. It's pretty intuitive, and I like the way things are set up. But if we want to go ahead and just create a default patch, we just need to hold down Program and hit Compare. And that will give us just a default patch here. So let's go ahead and reach over to our polyphony menu, or our voice menu, and I'm going to set the polyphony to unison 2, so we get 2 voices of unison, and then I'm just going to slightly detune those now. So you can also set some cool things like drift if you want to give it sort of an analog feel. So we'll put a little bit of that on, and then let's go down to our filter section. We can edit our oscillators. So let's control our envelopes here a little bit. And then let's add that reverb I was talking about earlier, the deep verb. Add some of that to it, and we get this. Now let's add a little bit of a chorus. If I can find the chorus here. There we go. So as you can see in here, it's very easy to dial in sounds quickly. Getting around the menus is not so bad at all. Also, if you want to access all of your modulation routings, you just hit the mod button and you have your 8 sources and 8 destinations that you can set accordingly. A lot of different options there as well. So if there are things on the synth itself that are a little bit more difficult for you to navigate, you can, of course, use the editor for PC, Mac, tablet, and iOS, which I'm going to show you now. So we have the DeepMind 12D editor open. I'm using it on a Mac right now, and it is standalone, but I'm triggering the MIDI through Logic. So to set it up, you just need to go over to your settings and your input device as DeepMind 12D, output device, same thing, and we can just sync it. I am connected through USB, but you can also use Wi-Fi. But if we go over to our overview here, we have all of our handy controls, things like our filter. And you also have your entire modulation matrix here, so I can route any of my sources and destinations, and we can control whatever we want to under the hood for the synth. You also have a preset manager, so you can go in here, you can see which presets I've favorited. You can even favorite new ones there, and it will mark them on your DeepMind 12D synth as well. So let's just select another patch. All we have to do is double click it. So we can also go over to our effects over here, and we can access all of the effects. So let's just say we wanted to use a different reverb. As you can see, there's a ton of effects here. So let's just click this reverb. It's more like a hall. And let's say we wanted to add maybe a delay of some sort. So a really nice interface here. It's very clean, very easy to navigate. You also have a preset blender, which you can blend between different presets. Pretty cool. I haven't really experimented too much with that. You also have control over the step sequencer, which this is really useful because this is one of the things that on the actual synth itself is not that easy to program. So this makes things a lot easier. You also have your arpeggiator as well. So just a really welcome addition to have an analog synth that has this kind of technology and an editor with this kind of depth and ease of use. All right, y'all, so we've taken a brief look and listened to the brand new Behringer DeepMind 12D analog synthesizer. My first impressions after using this for about a month now are that I really am a big fan of the sound of it. It has a warmth and a tone that I've been unable to get from digital virtual analog rack mount synths, which I've owned a lot of them. And I just really felt that I could get the same sounds out of plugins. But with this, obviously, analog introduces a completely different texture and sound that's hard to replicate in plugins. So this is definitely a welcome addition to my studio. It also just impresses me because you have the old analog technology, so that warmth, that vintage tone, but they've coupled it with a lot of new technology like Wi-Fi, like having the editor for Mac or PC. So that gives you a lot of flexibility on how you're using the synth in your own setup. I also like the fact that it's rack mountable. There are not many analog synths on the market that you can put in a rack space. If you're like me, I have a couple of keyboards, 3 keyboards. I don't need any more keyboards, and I don't necessarily have the space for it. So having the form factor of a rack mount analog synth is something that I was very excited about when this was announced. Some of my concerns with the DeepMind 12D were, one, it has 2 fans in the unit, which I was concerned about the noise, being that I record near my computer with a microphone quite often, so I didn't want it to be excessively noisy. The good news is it's very easy to dive into the global menu and you can turn off the fans completely or adjust the speed to your taste. Now, I don't know how this affects performance or if this is something that could affect the longevity. However, I don't believe that Behringer would include this feature if it would. The other concern I had was build quality and reliability, just seeing how they have paid very close attention to detail in the quality of the synth. I feel pretty confident about it, and they also offer a 3-year warranty. Overall, if you're looking for an analog rack mount synth, it comes in at just below $1,000, which is pretty incredible for what you get, the value they've built in, and you're not going to find anything at that price point that competes with the DeepMind 12D. So I want to know what you think about it. Let us know in the comments. Is this something you're going to be adding to your studio setup? Why or why not? If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews in the future. Thanks for watching.